All right, howdy folks. So today we are going to be continuing along with this matrix stack deployment. The previous video exists here, and in it we basically went through the initial configuration for the major components of matrix stack as offered by the element group, community, whatever they're called, organization. So I recommend watching this video first. If you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe, and there will be a link to all of this in the description. So last time we left off with, basically we were just going through this configuration and deleting a bunch of stuff. So for each of the major components of this matrix stack, which if you need a refresher is basically Synapse for the server, I am hosting Element as a client, Element Web as a client. So I am deploying Element Web even though it's the client. It's just I'm offering a web version of the client for convenience sake for users. Nevertheless, the stack includes this client. Matrix RTC is the voice over IP and video stream backend. And there are other things along with this. Most important is Matrix Authentication Service, which is going to handle the OAuth 2 upstreaming with Google, as all of my services do. And yeah, there's a Postgres database, the basic stuff. So today we need to go a little bit more into the weeds with these configurations to get this to behave exactly the way I want, and I need to actually deploy it. And I still haven't decided exactly how I am going to go about doing this deployment. So as I mentioned in the previous video, I have an existing deployment of Matrix on my network, but it is using a different Helm chart. So this new deployment on the left is using the Element HQ, ESS Helm, Matrix Stack Helm chart. Link to that is on the Git issue. And the previous version of Matrix that I have been using is this small hack repo. And converting from one to the other is not quite so straightforward. There are a lot of things in the background, namely to do with encryption, that are not necessarily going to transfer over so smoothly. Now, if I were just editing my Helm chart over here on the left, changing the configuration, and using the same Helm chart, I could just run the deployment again, and it will only update the things that need to be updated, leaving my encryption keys in place, and as a result, I wouldn't really have to worry about this. But since I'm transferring over to a new Helm chart, I would either have to make sure that all of the encryption stuff and database tables are copied over manually, or I can start from scratch and not worry about it. The problem with starting from scratch here is that I have some existing rooms and some existing chats with users. These are not users on my own server, but users on the main matrix.org server, and I don't know what it's going to be like for them to try to connect with me again if I don't at least save the federation key. So federation is the part of Matrix that allows different servers to talk to one another, as in email, and on Matrix they use an encrypted key, a public key, and I have the ability somewhere, over here, I don't know exactly where the field is. I don't think I have it specified here. Well, there are things in there I didn't want to show, but it's live, so oh well. Anyway, I don't have the key. Whatever. Point being, somewhere in the back end, Synapse has this encrypted key, and I can copy it and save it and move it over to this new service. I'm just not sure if there are other things in the background that are also necessary to copy over. So I really don't know what the best move is, and I'm kind of thinking, oh, hello there. I see some people are in the chat, which is interesting. I have not actually. I turned the chat on for the first time in the previous stream, so it's interesting to see some people. Zenadotchile Varamihara. I apologize. Indian names are typically phonetic, so just pronounce every letter, but I am just assuming that that is an Indian name. Anyway, I digress. So welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. Let's continue. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to go ahead and delete the existing configuration, the existing federation key, and I'm guessing that for the users with whom I have existing connections, I'm guessing that they will just have to delete that and then establish a new one with me. Hopefully it's not something permanent, and very much so hopefully this is not like matrix.org will never federate with me if I don't have the same federation key. If that's the case, then we're going to probably have to do some recovery. So anyway, we will get there. Let's dive into this configuration a little bit and see if we can set up a few things. The first thing I want to set up is mail. So I have mail is available as a let's see. Oh, this is Coturn. Sorry. Synapse. I guess it is not in here. Which is the one? Let's go back over to our example. Here we go. So this custom config, admin contact, and things like that. Full details of configuration options can be found here. So let's look at those configuration options. And this is a live stream, unlike my usual videos where I have done things and am retroactively reporting on them. In this case, I am doing it live, and so there will be moments where I am quiet and just looking and reading, so bear with me on those. I believe the server name has been set. Let's actually move that there and this here, and I'm going to close that for now. Okay. So I believe the server name is set. Yeah, that's set globally. Can we just skip around a bit? I think I have to make this full screen to get that. So let's see here. Boy, this is not... Okay, we can email. Okay, and how does this want this configured? Additional Synapse configuration can be provided inline in the values as a string with... Okay. Odd that it has to be a string, and I don't understand this syntax. Why are they setting up two config files here? And this one uses... So one of them is a string. This is strange. So what I'm reading here is that for Synapse, we have this additional configuration that is going to be, added to our Synapse config somehow. But this looks like they're separating it into multiple files that will be combined into one big config at the end, or like configuration files that will all be put onto the Docker container that is running Synapse. And I don't know why that's necessary. So let's see. Let's find Synapse. Sorry, my piano's right here, so I can... We might take some musical breaks here and there, but anyway, so I want to... I'm not sure where this needs to be aligned. There. And we're going to do email. So, whoops. In a previous video, I was demonstrating how I'm self-hosting my own email server. So I'm able to put in my own, email stuff here. Anyway. And here I want to look at the configuration that I have on the existing So what did I put for these? There we go. Port 587 apparently. Username, password. Okay. And where do we have password here? Client base URL. That seems like that's this element URL here. So there are a lot of fields here that I do not have in my current. Oh, this is a little bit easier to look at. Well, the password, need that. And here we're just using a variable that Ansible should populate. And I have that saved in a Ansible vault that is a separate file on my computer. And whenever I try to deploy this chart, I reference that Ansible vault, which contains all of my encrypted, well, the vault file is encrypted, but it becomes decrypted and allows this thing to gain all the correct values when I use it. So, I think I'm just going to leave the rest of this for now. This doesn't seem tremendously essential. But they also had the same thing, email in this matrix authentication service. I don't know. And this if we look at these configuration options, we should be able to find. Here we go, a client. So these are the so matrix authentication service is for the OAuth 2 like upstream login with Google, so that you can sign in with Google to get a matrix account on my service. And Matrix Authentication Service is the thing that is going to be handling that. And here is how we configure an individual, is it Google? Is it GitHub? Is it whoever your upstream authentication is? And I believe I already have a usable configuration here. Here are our clients. So I need to change these secrets, but it's hard to look at when it's this squished. That does not seem correct. I am looking for, these providers. Providers is what I'm looking for. What's this client? I guess that I don't need to set anything here. I guess this happens on its own in this matrix chart. So it looks like I had to in over here on my small hack Helm chart. It looks like I had to create a client and give it a auth method and a secret, which is now displaying on a live stream. So I need to delete this no matter what. But regardless, and here's another one. Great. We'll have to delete all those. In the previous video, I actually went through and deleted them, but I forgot to save that, which I shouldn't have saved. I just forgot to delete them again before starting this video. Oh well, I'll just change them. Regardless, Matrix Authentication Service. I guess I had to specify these things manually in this Helm chart, but these things are going to be, set up on their own or set up automatically through the new Helm chart. So I guess I actually don't even have to worry about these secrets now. Haha. Gotcha. But anyway, so I guess we don't have to configure a client, but we do certainly need a provider. And this is going to be useful as well. Where did it go? What about providers? Is it an HTTP listener? No. There we go. Okay. Upstream OAuth 2. I think I can make this a little bigger. So this needs to go into, this additional configuration. So we'll delete this empty dictionary. We are configuring the Matrix Authentication Service, and actually, I can probably copy this. And I'm not going to copy the GitHub one. I'm just going to do Google. And there are some fields here, specifically this action, and let's read through this comment. The local part is the local part of the user's matrix ID. For example, on the example.com server, the local part is Alice. The user's matrix ID will be alice.example.com. Local part is required. So from this OAuth 2 Google provider, it is required that it provide us with the local part of this matrix account. And the display name is suggested and the email is suggested. Now, I don't know if I want these to be required or what. What does this comment say? Whether the email address must be marked as verified. Oh, okay. interesting. So if the user has a verified email with Google, then my service will say that their email is verified. But if the email that the user is using on Google is not verified, then since I have import set here, it will also not be verified on my service, which is interesting. So I guess this and this, I might just leave it alone for now. No reason to change it unless it's kind of not working. So is that all that I need over here? There was another thing about email. I might just skip the email stuff for now, but that actually might be kind of important. What's this experimental? I'm going to ignore that. Just trying to get it working for right now. And yeah, I think I might want this as well. Okay. I think I'll have to create an account for this on my email server, if that's okay. Okay, so transport is going to be SMTP host. I kind of feel like I need to set that port to 25 rather than 587, but we will come back to that at another time. Mode. I'll just say TLS. Name, port. Here it's saying 587, so maybe that is correct. Sometimes I like to be pretty verbose with my naming, so MAS is a nice, succinct name, but it's not very descriptive. We could wonder what MAS is referring to, and so just specifying the whole matrix authentication service, it's just a little bit more obvious what it is as soon as you see it, and that just makes it a little bit easier to manage. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm just procrastinating a little bit here. So, really all I needed to set up for this matrix auth service was this upstream OAuth 2, at least in terms of just like getting things up and running and making sure that things are working. I just need to set up this upstream OAuth 2 provider, and I think the rest of it's good. I'm kind of just, I am still not sure if I want to just go right on ahead and deploy a new matrix service and delete the old one. I think I am going to. It's it's easier, and I can check. We can go. Hold on. What just happened there? There we go. How do I increase the size here? Well, we're not going to. I'm going to SSH over to, this is the control plane for my Kubernetes cluster, and I can secrets. Oh yeah, look at all that. So those are just TLS. Yeah, this Federation TLS secret, the database secret, the auth secret. If I delete this namespace, I don't know that I can get those back. But I also don't know, you know, if I just like print it out and copy it into a file, I don't know that that would be enough to get it back either. So I'm not sure there's much I can do to like really back it up here. I just don't know exactly. That matrix extra config looks like it might be holding the secret, but no one in chat want to show me, yell at me, and tell me what to do? Should I just go ahead and yeah, let's see. There are 2 viewers here. Y'all can jump in the chat. Tell me what to do. Should I be very careful and try to save all of these Federation keys and try to make things move over as smoothly as possible, or should we just, you know, clean slate, get it out of here? I'd feel free to post in chat. I'm going to take a sip of my delicious cheer wine. Or this isn't cheer wine, this is cream soda. Same thing, basically, you know. If Virgil's is looking to get into the, you know, live streaming tech space, then, you know, this is the guy. So all right, yeah, I think we're just gonna we might just go for it. So what I am referring to, I can show you an example. Let's get this a little bit larger, and I can't make the text here bigger, I don't think. That's a shame. Anyway, so here are all the things I have in Kubernetes, and Coturn is one of those namespaces. If I list, well, matrices as well. If we list all the pods in my matrix namespace, these are all individual Docker containers that are running in that namespace. These were deployed as part of the small hack Helm chart that I created. So, you know, that's going to create a lot of different things. Instead of pods, we can say get deploy. We could also get PVC to see persistent volume claims. We can get ingress to see ingress rules. So, you know, that's really why I'm using Helm for all of this stuff, is like there's a lot of different pieces to a Kubernetes deployment, and Helm just, you know, does all that for you. So you could just kind of configure your application the way you want, and it's going to worry about creating all of these different things. And that's why I'm having trouble now. So as easy as it makes it for, you know, this deployment and managing it within one Helm chart, moving from one Helm chart to another Helm chart, you know, now I have to go and think about all these little components that are in there and say, okay, well, you know, if I want things to transition over smoothly, do I need to save any of these and things? And if I had a lot more users, and yeah, I think I might be a lot more bothered about that if I had more users. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I have Coturn deployed, which I just showed, and Coturn is the voice over IP service for old Matrix. So I'm going to delete that namespace. Well, I don't need to do -n. So now it's deleting all of the resources that were deployed as part of my Coturn deployment. Now that is also using a small hack repository or Helm chart, and that Helm chart was actually originally included as a subchart to the original matrix chart, but I found deploying them together, they tried to use the same database and they didn't cooperate well, so I had to deploy them into separate namespaces and then manually configure things to work together. And that's part of the reason why I'm switching over to this new chart. But anyway, so I've deleted the Coturn namespace, and if I were wanting to, if we want to really go in, we can delete the matrix namespace. Do I have a matrix auth service namespace? Yeah, I do. I should delete that one first, for sure. You gotta do these one at a time, It's I'm nervous about doing this. The worst case scenario here is that I delete my federation key and, the main matrix.org server no longer will federate with my servers at all. That would be a pretty poor way of having designed this protocol. My hope is that just, existing rooms and existing chats will no longer be accessible. And, that's what I'm hoping for. And I'll have to reconnect with some users, but that's okay. I'm going to take 5, and I'm going to think about if I'm actually going to do it this way. See if an idea occurs to me. Feel free to post in chat if you have an idea for this. Otherwise, we're going to delete the matrix namespace, and we will proceed with a new deployment. And it'll be a test deployment because, this is definitely not fully configured yet. It will probably fail. We're definitely going to need to change things, and we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, taking a 5-minute break here. Let's reconvene in a moment. Okie dokie. Welcome back. Let's resume. I think we are going to go ahead and just delete the matrix namespace. First things first, I forgot something super important over here. We need to start our work timer on the ticket. The whole point of me putting the video in the comment like this is to kind of keep all of my data together. So, this video is me working on this ticket, so this video should exist inside of this ticket. Actually, this would probably be better done as, a milestone with multiple tickets and pull requests, but, I'm just kind of experimenting with this, video in the ticket thing. So, first try here. But anyway, part of that is, using this timer. So I'm going to add 30 minutes here, add that manually for the 30 minutes that we've been working. And now I'm going to start the timer and we will continue along. Okay, so I think I am going to go ahead and delete the matrix namespace. Before I do that, I am going to take a look at my existing matrix setup, and let's see. Here we go. So this is, I can't make the text bigger here, I don't think. Oh, look at that. Sweet, didn't know I could do that. So this is my existing Element client. This is a standalone client. You can also download the Element client for your phone or, Apple, a Mac, whatever. You get what I mean. It's multi-platform. This is the old version of the client, and there's a new version of the client. We'll probably want to use the new version of the client once I have finished this deployment, but we're going to do things one at a time here. Effectively, we are going to, so like these rooms here, Luanti and the Minecraft chat, these exist on, these exist on my current Synapse server that is, as of yet, not yet deleted. And so do a few others. One in particular that I'm interested in is this alarm channel that I use with my Grafana deployment, and this just sends me notifications when events happen on my network. We could talk about that another time. But then there are also certain individual people with whom I have connected, and I think all I really want to do here is write down their usernames. I don't want to show that on stream, just for their own sake. So I am just going to quickly write down a couple of usernames into a text file. Got one, and got two. And these are both matrix.org users. So I will be able to test once I have finished whether I can still connect to matrix.org. So, ooh-wee, the big moment. Le moment terrible est arrivé. It's that's some French for you. Let me get this thing out of here. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna do it. None of you are stopping me in the chat, so I am going to go ahead and delete the matrix namespace. Hopefully I don't regret this. Let's just do it. I'm Irish, so, you know, I'll count on the luck. Okay, it's gone. So, now we need to deploy this, and there are going to be a few steps here. Whoops. Let's just get out of here. First things first, I want to commit this git stuff, and they give me this little thing over here in Kate, and we can go ahead and try and use it. So I'm just going to stage all and then commit, write a commit message, first deploy. Okay, and git push. Origin main, yes. Did it work? Okay, looks like that worked. So now over here, I should be able to see, yeah, this first deploy. Okay, so yeah, this Ansible role matrix stack is the Git repository in which I am putting the code for, you know, this deployment. But I have most of my stuff for my network in this other repository, software infrastructure. And we can see I have a few roles in this. This is also, so it's a bit confusing. So this is a set of Ansible playbooks, and the previous repository was an Ansible role. And you can call Ansible roles from within an Ansible playbook. So the roles that are being called by this playbook are in this roles folder. And we can see there are a bunch of them up here that are ericomian dot something. And those are all, you know, other ones that are hosted here on Git. And we can see that they look a little bit different from these guys down here. So these Geerling guy, or Jeff Geerling, these are cloned locally, if that makes sense. And so like my computer goes out to the internet and copies all the files into my local repository, and you know, all of the contents of them exist right here in the thing as if it is part of it itself, which is a little bit weird. What I've been doing is I just create Git submodules. That way they point to the actual repository that's being used, and I can update things a little bit more easily. This is how you would normally want to do it within a Git environment. So I'm not sure why they've done things this way. I don't know. Perhaps you're supposed to use your git ignore to not store these in your repository, but regardless, what I want to do at this point is add my Ansible role matrix stack to my software infrastructure repository as a submodule. And that's not hard to do. So I'm just going to go back. Let's find our matrix stack. Here's our SSH link right there. I'm going to come over here and go to the terminal. I want to get out of alpha control plane. We are in the matrix stack. We don't want to be in matrix stack. We want to be in this other repository. This is the software infrastructure repository. And so we're now in the roles folder of software infrastructure. I'm sorry that the text is so small here. I can't really change it. And I'm just going to do git submodule add that, and it's going to git clone from my git website using that regular URL, and there we go. Now we have the submodule, and so I should be able to. There's a lot more files in this one. So I use this, I have this main.yaml, which goes through the deployment of my whole network from, just a server running Debian, fresh out of the box, to deploying 15 virtual machines, configuring them into a Kubernetes cluster, and deploying all my services. That's all defined in here as one big, do it all at once. But I don't need to do it all at once every single time. And even though Ansible is idempotent and wouldn't be changing things that don't need to be changed, it's still a long script, and it still goes through a lot of different things and would need to check it, and it SSHs into a bunch of different machines. So it just takes a long time to run this. So instead I use this test.yaml, which has one task, and it's just for when I want to do a single thing. And so this is what I usually use, and the role we're going to do is not ericomian.eom, but matrix stack. And let's take a look at our default values. So if we come back over here, so we need to set the release namespace. No, we don't. Matrix is good, but the server name, we do need to set our server name as a value. And I think, how do I specify a value when I do a role? Is it what was it? Domain? Server name. And that's my domain. Do I have that correct? So this is a great opportunity for AI. One of the few instances in which it actually shines, and it's not just marketing BS. But yeah, I want an example of an Ansible role, an example Ansible playbook that calls a role and specifies extra values. Vars, not values. So it's like I really like AI for that kind of thing, because for two reasons. First of all, I could ask it very specifically what I wanted, but I can also ask it to do something that will require it to do what I want anyway. And that way I don't have to lead the bot. I can just say, hey, specify some extra values, and I don't tell it to use the field name values. It uses whatever it wants to accomplish the goal, and it just so happens that vars is the correct term here. I suspected that it was, because there's the vars file up there. Anyway, regardless. So the point is that you can kind of get the bot to do what you want without directly asking it to do what you want, and you can use that as a mechanism for, testing an idea. Like, is this the correct syntax? Hey, bot, do the thing that I want. And if it uses the syntax that I was expecting, then I can tell that I've probably correct. Anyway, it's one way to use AI. And I think this is all I need to do here. I think that's it. Pretty easy. So let us... There we go. So, Ansible playbook. I'll just walk through this command. Again, it's really small. I'm sorry. You probably can't see it. But let's see. Ansible playbook. So I want to run a certain playbook. The playbook I want to run is this test.yaml specified at the end. I specified that I want it to ask me for a become password. So when it SSHs into the host machine here, alpha control plane, I should have to type in a password when I am, using sudo. And so since Ansible wants to do that, it's going to ask me for a password that it will, use on that remote machine. It's also going to ask me for a vault password, and that vault is specified here in this secrets.yaml. So on my desktop, I have a file. We can tmux cut that in half and list ... secrets.yaml. There it is. It exists. And that is where I'm storing, all the secrets that I don't want you to see, except for that one that I accidentally showed and have already deleted. So it's gone now. Ha, your opportunity has passed. Anyway, so yeah, so I specify that here. It's not really a good practice to use relative paths like that. Ideally, I would specify a full path, or, actually I should probably put it in the repository and add it to the git ignore so that it's not, copied over remotely and things like that. So that actually probably would be a good idea. I should do that at some point. I should create an issue to say that. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that since we are thinking about it. And it's a good practice to be as scatterbrained as possible when you are working in software, of course. Let's just jot this down. What was it? What did we want to do? Oh, yeah. Move our secrets. I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything else about it. It's jotted down. That's good. That's all we need. We can add to it later. Let's come back. Okay, so that command is going to run our playbook, and yeah, the last part of the command is this -i inventories, and this is just where I specify the IP addresses of our host. So we can see it's in the inventories, and I say eom.dev.yaml, and here are all the hosts on my network. I don't think this is perfectly accurate. Yeah, actually it looks good. And it's not even giving IP addresses, it just gives their names. So yeah, whatever. Cool. I think we can run the command. It's gone now. Where'd it go? All right. let's just do it. It's going to be, there's our become password. ABC123 and the vault password. One, two, three, ABC again, of course. So as we are waiting here, it is, whoa. Oh, you're killing me. Additional properties come from config. Okay, that's fine. So here's the deal. Now, I expected this. This is the point of the stream. We are going to be debugging these things and trying to get this working. But when I continue editing this, there is a way in which I want to do that. So what I have open here that you see here, and you can see better here on the left, is our Ansible role matrix stack. And now that I have added it as a submodule to this software infrastructure repository, it's not that it's a bad idea to work just in that other repository, the Ansible role repository, but there's a workflow that would be kind of tedious as a result. If I work directly in that Ansible role matrix stack repository, that every change I have to make the change, commit the change, push to the remote server, and then pull it down to software infrastructure, test it, and it might not work. And so then I would have to change it again, push it to the remote server, pull it back down into software infrastructure, and test it, and it might not work again. And so to avoid that, what I am going to do, and what should already be done, is it should be cloned locally. And let's see, roles, matrix stack, get status. It's on the origin main. So we can actually open up these files right here in the software infrastructure repository, and then we don't have to do that workflow. We can just, change something, run it, test it. If it doesn't work, we just change it again, run it, test it, keep running and testing, keep running and testing. Once we get something to work, then we commit our changes and push that to the remote system. So that's a much better way of approaching this. So I'm going to close this. And are all of these software infrastructure? No. We can close this, and we can close this. Let's open our roles. It's very small and very far away from me, so bear with me. I do need to change this configuration. I'm moving soon, so that will happen. But Ansible role. Ooh, my eyes. Matrix stack. Where is it? I might need to refresh here. I think I need to refresh. Can I refresh? There's a refresh. Click. There it is. Ugh, that was painful. What great content. Okay, so now we have that same file open again, and the error that we saw is right here. Okay, basically the important part is down here. Additional property, custom config is not allowed. And if we look at our example, they actually had one -custom config. I just didn't like that, so I just made it custom config. So this is fortunately a relatively easy change. So I think we just deploy that again. I'm really bad at typing ABC123, so that's why that takes me so long each time. But And now we wait, and we deploy again, and we enjoy some delicious Virgil's cream soda. Feel free to sponsor me, Virgil's. Your soda is delicious. Failed again. Oh, it didn't like one custom config. Ooh. What does it mean? Does it need to be an additional or something? What's this? Additional. And that's also the wrong thing. Yeah, but both of them are in additional. So actually this... So, here's something I don't like about the Kate editor. In Vim, I can do, what's this, greater than, and it will tab 1, but here it does too many. It does, it goes too far. I just need to add 2 spaces. YAML does 2 spaces for a tab, which is a little bit annoying. So if I just do this weird thing, let me show you more of what I'm doing. So I highlight the text. These are some Vim commands. Shift V puts me into this visual line mode. I then use the down arrow to select a few lines. I then type colon, and this brings up that little command window at the bottom. I type S for search, and slash begins my search query. The up caret is for the beginning of a new line. So then I'm going to put another slash to end my query, and I want to replace that with 2 spaces. Another slash to end it. You can put G at the end for global. Excuse me. I didn't predict a way of like muting my mic for that. So there was like a brief moment of panic where I tried to figure out how to mute the mic before I sneezed, but we didn't get there. So anyway, you can put the slash G, which is going to say global, so like all instances of a new line, but that's kind of unnecessary because there's only going to be one new line on every single line. So anyway, I'm going to do that, and we get our extra 2 spaces and additional. That seems okay. This I'm going to delete, because I already deleted it, and I can't do that anymore, which might not have been a great idea. And so now we can try it again. We wait. How's it going, folks? 2 viewers. Any messages in chat? Y'all came in hot at the very beginning with a few messages, but now nothing. Would love to hear from you. Feel free to join in. What do you think? Place a bet. Do you think it'll pass? Give it emoji. I don't know how to tell, but I don't know if I'll see them, but sure, it's taking its time. That's usually a good sign. That means things are happening, right? So I'm very suspicious of this configuration. I feel like I didn't do anything, and so it's almost certainly wrong. So we'll have to see. Let's just see what happens here. The main test is going to be if all the pods come up, and then I guess I'll try and sign in with Google with my own account. So I have an LDAP server. LDAP is it's hard to explain. It's a weird database, but it is a way of having a directory of users and attributes and groups of things, and it allows me to do single sign-on for a lot of my services in the backend. And so for that, I will define an account on my LDAP server, and then in LDAP, I'll say this account has access to Gitea or to Discourse or to Matrix. And then those particular services are looking at the LDAP database when someone tries to log in, and it will first try to say, hey, does this account exist? And then if it does, it says, hey, does this account have permission to log in? And if it does, it will create an account on the service. And I really like that. That's great. But with this Matrix auth service stuff, I'm not sure I can use LDAP and that at the same time. So ideally, I would want to have my user defined through LDAP and then allow other people to create accounts using Google. We'll have to see if that's possible. And it looks like it worked. So let's go to the control plane and let's get pods. And I'm going to add -w so it will watch them. And we can see that there are a bunch of things that are happening. First one I see is this Matrix Synapse main at the very bottom does not seem to be working well. Let's see. The -w can sometimes make it confusing, so let's do that. Image pull back off. Failed to pull and unpack image. Failed to resolve reference. Well, that's not good. TLS handshake timeout. Oh, looks like it worked later. Okay. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oh, it looks like this is actually working. Nous sommes vous. That's some more French for you. We shall see. Very exciting. I still feel like there's a lot more that I need to configure here, and we'll see. Now that I have deployed this once, it adds another layer of complexity into me configuring it further. Specifically, in the background, it has requested, well, we'll have to double check. We can check it right now while it's doing all this crap. Get certs. So these are all the TLS certs. It should have requested them upstream from Let's Encrypt, as I described in the previous video. And it looks like all of these have been issued. And that is a good thing. So our certificates have been issued, and Let's Encrypt is going to rate limit how many certificates I can request for a specific domain in a specific time period. So I don't want to continuously delete and recreate these. So what I do want to do, as I am editing this, hopefully everything here works. My Element client just opened, which is kind of a good sign. We'll see what that does. I'm actually going to move it over to the right here, and let's... Anyway, so yeah, as I am working on these configurations and changing things, I don't want to delete this matrix namespace again, because I don't want to have to keep re-requesting TLS certs from Let's Encrypt upstream. They have given me these, and as I am deploying these services, it's like Kubernetes have these things separate. So like the cert is over here and the pod is over here. So if I change the configuration for the pod, we should just be able to change out the pod and the cert should still work. So there we go. It looks like everything's running here. Let's go to our web browser and let's go to element.eom.dev. And it looks like this is working. But I don't see my single sign-on with Google. But this is the Matrix authentication service. So that's a thing. We can see that up here. It's the mas.eom.dev. We also have that up here. But we want single sign-on with Google, and that's not here. So let's go back to our config, and let's look at why. Actually, let's go back to the example. Well, we've had some good success so far. The pods have deployed and they've all started up, which doesn't always necessarily happen. So, that's a good sign. We've at least got things, running and working. Oh, what about Matrix RTC? Is that running? Yep, here it is. There's an auth service and SFU, which is not a very polite thing to name your service if you ask me, but hey. Full details of configuration. Matrix auth service. Maybe I did need this. What? FB3, F0. Was that up here in the client? FB3, F0. Nope. Oh, look at this. Okay, maybe this is the problem. So if we look at the example here, we have additional, and then I think it's like a file name or something, and then our configuration. And here I just have additional and then the configuration. So I think we need to add 2 lines to all of this. Yes. There we go. I saved in my history, so we'll add 2 spaces there. And we'll call this 0- custom config. Oh, and then it wants more. So yeah, this is where it gave two examples where you can like do it as a string like that, or you can, it looks like you can just specify it like this. So let's try this, and maybe we'll need to deploy it again afterwards to change it further. But you know, here we should be able to see, I'm going to get out of the control plane, and I'm going to run this exact same command, this Ansible playbook, ask become pass, ask vault pass, inventories file, test.yaml. We're going to run the exact same command again. And it's not going to redeploy everything. It's not going to re-request for new TLS certs. It's not going to re-ask for a bigger volume claim or whatever. It's just going to see, hopefully, that the auth service has a different configuration, and only that should be restarted. So let's try it. A. Okie dokie. And now we wait. This one should be a little bit quicker, I hope. Biffed it. Okay, so I think it's done here. Let's check over on the control plane and get pods. Is anything? It doesn't look like anything's restarted really, but it did look like something changed in that. So let's come back over here. Let's go to element. We're going to sign in. I still don't see sign in with Google. Where is it at? Maybe I do need that client thing. Or hey Zephyr, how's it going? Vigorous dozer over here. So yeah, I'm not sure what's causing the the lack of Google OAuth 2 on my server. Maybe I need to make this, like, do it in this format, this config, and then add a string with all this stuff. I don't really like that, though. That's a bit annoying. Let me pull back up our... It's really hard to click things up there. Our old matrix deployment, make it a little bigger. And let's see. So this section is misleading. This is the Synapse built-in OIDC and not the matrix auth service. And we want the matrix auth service. So here's how I configured LDAP previously, but we'll get to that. Okay, what are these clients? I don't think I need to do that. I feel like that should be included in the thing. In the Helm chart. I feel like Helm would handle that. Radishes aren't going to help. Zephyr. I don't think I need that client stuff. I'm going to pull up Google and let's do... So this is... whenever I want one of my servers to use Google as a authentication, when I want people to be able to sign in with Google, this is what I do. I go to one of these things. Might not be this one exactly. So this is the Google Cloud Console, and oh, it's been a while since I've done this. OAuth, search. Okay, let's start that over. Is this the same thing? No. Okay. So, yeah. So here's where I go. Google Cloud, and how did I even get here though? I just typed in the address. So Google Cloud and what? API and services? I think it might have been that IAM thing actually. I am an admin. And then I think this is not it. Oof. Google Auth Platform clients. I'm not really sure how you get here, folks. Point being, I create one of these clients, and Google gives me this client ID and a secret in the back end. If I create a new one, you would be able to see it. I'm not going to open one of my old ones. But you can see, yeah, here, this is the matrix one, and I'm going to pull this window away from your prying eyes and investigate the matrix one to make sure it's correct. Ah, interesting. Okay, so I'm seeing, I can't pull it up onto the screen, unfortunately, because it's showing a secret, and I need that, but one of the fields in here, let me see if I can, I'll just create a new one, so this is, here we go. This is just going to be an example. I'm going to make this bigger. This is what I'm going to make bigger. And let's just create a client. I don't remember what I did. I think it's web application. And you need to specify authorized redirect URLs. And here on the matrix one, I had specified synapse.eom.dev. And it should be, I think, just eom.dev or matrix.eom.dev. I don't know. That's a good, I don't know what it's supposed to be. So I can add multiple, and that's what I'm going to do. So let's go back. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, the clients are... That seems fine. That seems a bit strange, but I think that comes from... I think that's global. That's just... That's what Google is always. Okay, I think I'm going to try this method. So add 2 more spaces to the beginning. And config, turn all of that into a string. Okay. I don't like that, but we can try and deploy it. And now we wait. How are those radishes, Zephyr? Cool. Looks like we are running once more. Did it restart? Ah, it's restarting the auth service. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Wait for that to come up. Oh well. Oh no, we have an error. Error. What's wrong? Gasp. Scope. Default providers 0, upstream OAuth 2, missing field scope. 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 Where does the scope go? Show me scope. Show me your scope. Scope. There it is. I feel like these are there. Missing field scope for key. Let me see. Can we get a better example of one of these? Doesn't look like it. Well, the good news is that it has picked up the change. It's recognizing the change. It seems that it at least sees that I have specified this OAuth 2 field thingy. So I guess we just need to specify scope. But like, what does that mean? The policy ship would. Special scope that indicates that the client is requesting an OpenID Connect ID token. User info. Allows any client and any user to request this scope. Email requires the OpenID scope to be present in the request. It adds the user's email address to the ID token into the claims returned to the user info endpoint. Default policy allows any client and any user to request this scope. What? I do not understand what this is talking about. Grants access to the admin API. Maybe there is something in this. So I had this like OIDC section here that I said is no longer relevant. Is there a scope field? Scope. Nope. Nope, I ain't got a clue. It'd be great if they would show me an example for an upstream, like scope. Stream of providers, ID. Okay. Open ID, profile, and email. So let's scope. Open. Does this need to be a list? Open ID. Profile. Email. I don't know. Let's just give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. We'll do it live. Anything going on, chat? Let's see. I liked where that was going, but we were trying to stay a little bit more focused here. Okay, that has deployed. Matrix auth service is initting over there. 2 out of 3. I guess we had more time to explore that beautiful little ending. I don't think I'll be getting that back, but oh no, we have an error. No. Invalid type. A string. Okay, it wants a string, not an array. I guess it's comma separated. Can we double check that? Scope. Okay, I guess not. One more time. Got a little carried away there. Looks like something's running. Refresh. Hey, sign in with Google. That works. Okay, I like that. It failed, but that's okay. We didn't need it to work. Let's see. What was the problem? Issuers. Okay, so let's actually stick you there. Okay. Issuer. The issuer URL of the provider. Do they have examples of these? No. I think I copied this from somewhere. All right, well, let's take 5 here. I'm just going to take a quick break, and then we will get right back into this. And it looks like we're actually getting kind of close here, so that's pretty exciting. So 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. So, I think the best course of action here is to use an existing config as an example. So I know that this is working on my discourse server, so I am going to split like that, stop bumping my mic, and let's open discourse.yaml here. And oh, I guess I configured that manually inside of discourse, so that's not super helpful. Let's try, I think, what else uses it? Mastodon? I don't think I got it working, but no, let's find when it's working. Not Nextcloud. Okay. Maybe I don't have an example. I was really hoping Discourse would be the example. Let me see if I can go onto the admin of Discourse and see. I won't be able to show you that because it probably contains sensitive stuff. And I don't see it. There it is. Okay. I'm not seeing any of my fields populated, which is bizarre because I can sign in with Google and I know my users have been doing that. So okay, I see it now. I'm not sure why that was what it was, but okay, let me see. They actually don't have. Okay, so the specific error that we saw was what? If I said continue with google.com, fetching provider metadata failed. Okay, so if we look here, provider, this ID is just random. I think I want to delete the slash. And maybe it's that issuer is wrong. I don't know. I'm Googling the OAuth2 URL, which I should probably do up here for you so you can see what I'm looking at. I saw a, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Maybe it's this. This actually seems... Oh, I don't know. See if we can find an example of this. VCRI is this. Let's try this. Seems a bit strange, but it's a little annoying that it keeps closing my terminal every time I do that. So anyway. See if we can make it not do that. I'm gonna bring this down to me so I don't have to look like way up here at it. Well, I guess I can't. So terminal, don't hide it on escape, and what else? Automatically synchronize terminal to the current document. No. Save. Close. Cool. That's better. Okay, looks like that's working again. Let's just go to... Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, it's just taking a second. That's okay. Take your time. There we go. Okay. That doesn't look right, but yeah, that didn't work. No. Okay. I'm going to close these guys out here. And let's see. Man, I wish they would give me an example. Give me an example for Google, please. Let's just see if we can... There we go. Finally. Okay, that's so much better. You know what? Let's just copy it almost verbatim. No, it's not. Let's... Okay, ID, human name. Keep touching this mic. Probably should set it up so it's upside down. But anyway, human name, Google, brand name, Google, issuer, accounts.google.com, ID and secret. Those are going to be exactly that. Token, endpoint, client, secret, post. Post. Got those two. Scope, OpenID, profile, email with spaces. This is so much easier. We have an example. Discovery mode. Is that a thing? Doesn't look like it. Goodbye. Claim imports. Local part. Wait. Okay, let's just do exactly what they have. Local part. Action. Whoa! Ignore. Display name. Action suggest. I'll keep what I got there. Let's copy theirs. Email, suggest. And whoa. I kind of want this email verification import. They don't have it though. I'm gonna leave it. I want to keep it. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's gotta work, right? That's gotta work. Let's do it. Let's see, checking the chat. Don't panic. Yeah, I'll try not to. Oh, we got a problem. It doesn't like this. I think that's why. Let me see. Ignore. And then we should let's go back through this. Display name. I think I should have done that. User.name. Suggest. Template. And then cool. Let's try that instead. Basically, I'm assuming that the error that I got was just like a syntax thing because I was using, like, this is like an Ansible thing. These double curly brackets with a variable inside. Ansible uses that as well. So it probably was looking for a user.email variable when I was trying to deploy this and didn't find one and failed. So I'm thinking that this like weird quote thing here is a way of handling that. So let's do that. Fingers crossed. Thanks, Zephyr. You can help me test this too once we're done if you're interested. What we'll do is once I can log in with my account, then I will try to send you a message on your current account on matrix.org. And if that works, then we can try and sign in with Google and you'd get an eom.dev account. Looks like we're still good to go. Just let them all start. Thanks, appreciate it. Okay, looks like we're good. Oh wait, it's initializing. Almost missed that. Anyway, let's focus. Continue. That looks beautiful. Isn't that great? Wow. Sent an invalid request. Contact the developer. Redirect URI mismatch. That's okay. That's okay. That's easy enough to fix. That is where I need to go into like my Google API stuff and set up my sign in with Google. Can I find it this time? No. How do you get there? Can we just get like a link? I don't feel like it. I don't know how you guys are gonna find this. Console. All this nonsense. Okay, now I have to pull this off the screen. Clients. Matrix. So redirect URIs. What should the redirect URI be? I don't know. Following authorized redirect URI. Hey, look at that. Auth service domain / upstream callback ID. Okay. That's kind of weird. I'm guessing that this is the ID. So adding the, can delete the old one, add a new one. This is going to be the mass.eom.dev / that upstream stuff. And the ID that I am using here. I don't know. I don't think that's important to hide. Save. Okay. Let's go back. Let's refresh. It's trying to sign me in with my previous thing. Continue with Google. So, okay, hold on. So, it says it may take 5 minutes to a few hours for that URI change to take effect. Oh. Actually, I put the wrong thing in there, so that would explain it. /ID. That's correct. Let's try that again. Go back, refresh, continue with Google. Eric. Create account. I'm going to pull this onto another screen just in case it's I'm just going to say continue. And let's see what happens here. I might be logged in. That could be exactly what I want. Hey, okay. Doesn't support my browser. That's okay. I'm not going to enable desktop notifications on this. Okay. So, I am signed in. So I added a profile picture. I am signed in here on Element. Next step. What's my next step? A few things. First of all, at the moment, anybody in the world can create an account on my Matrix server using a Google account. Is that what I want? Well, they can. That is the way it's set up on my Discourse. Anybody in the world can create an account on Discourse. I'm not sure why I would. These are just. It's just that these are encrypted chats, and I'm not sure. Maybe I should restrict that. Configuration options are available. I could also try and contact Zephyr. Are you there, Zephyr, in the chat? Let me know. There might be a bit of a delay here. Let me also take a look at my client down here, my local client. Sign in. Trying to sign into my local client, it seems. All right, there you are, Zephyr. I'm going to try and send a direct message to your... hold on, I just need to verify the session. I need to pull this off the screen because that needs to be secure. Verify. Start. They match. They match. Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. So I'm logged in. So I'm going to try and send you a message, Zephyr. Let's see. Got that chat there. Got your username down here. This is going to go to your matrix.org account. Uh-oh. The encryption used in this room isn't supported. Okay, there we go. Encryption is enabled. And it looks like you can connect with me. Though I am in quotes. Why is my name in quotes? I see you've entered the room, Zephyr. Might be a bit more interesting if I not going to verify that just yet. Send me a message, Zephyr. So this is where I am a bit concerned. Zephyr and I had previously connected on the Matrix protocol. He's on matrix.org, and this is where my federation key is potentially important. Hopefully, I don't know how I'm showing up. Maybe I'm showing up as a new user. Sent a GIF. I'm not seeing anything. Where did you send it? Did you like reply to this chat, or did you send it to the old Eric? The old rooms should not be available anymore, nor should my old account. You might need to just click on my profile picture and click verify. I don't know. He's telling me that my identity was reset, which is exactly what I was thinking. Try clicking my profile picture and clicking verify. I don't know if that will do it. So we are seeing the issue. Matrix is saying that my identity was reset, and so now we're going to have to fix that in real time. Let me know if you were able to click my profile picture and click verify, Zephyr. Still waiting for a response. Okay, clicked picture on the side. Says Zephyr. Is there more to that message, or no? So like for me, I can see when I clicked your profile picture there, there's this verify user thing. I'm not going to do that, but no problem. Also, you might have to just like remove all instances of chats with me and then try this again to see if we can reconnect. So at least we know. Now we know that this is what happens. Identity was reset. We can also Google that issue. I don't see anything immediately. Thanks for helping me test this in real time, Zephyr. I appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm going to see Do we have... Yeah, it's deploying HA proxy. I don't know about that, but yeah, so ports 9093 and 9001 are open. Okay, Zephyr is clearing chats, so I'm going to keep looking at this. Take your time, Zephyr. Just appreciate your help here. So we'll see what we can do. I had a feeling this would be that was a bit reckless of me, so it's all good. Cool. So yeah, over here, what I'm thinking about is this. I can see that Matrix Synapse main, this service has multiple ports open, more than I would expect. So specifically port 9093, I'm guessing that is for Prometheus metrics. So it looks like metrics are available here, and that's good because I can set up Grafana stuff. And I already have existing Grafana stuff, so that will be cool. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to let Zephyr take his time there. And let's take a look at this configuration here. Can we set up... can we set up whether or not they're allowed to create accounts? Looks like we can have multiple, so I can do GitHub as well for this, which is nice. Looks like it's... Yep, here's the configuration. But that's not exactly what I'm thinking about right now. First of all, I'm curious. No, it looks like I generated a unique one for this, but I don't think it's important. Okay. Note that the service does not support other SSO providers such as SAML, and there is no plan to support them in the future. A deployment which requires SAML or LDAP-based authentication should use a service like DEX to bridge between SAML provider and the authentication service. So that answers a question for me. I will not be able to use my LDAP thing for this, which is unfortunate. And yeah, I don't know. Like, what about creating an admin account on this? How do I promote this user to admin? Okay, let's look at home server configuration. That's not relevant to me. Oh, that's for, yeah, the auth service. General configuration. Let's search for create account. Authentication and account creation. Nope. I'm looking for a way to set up who can create an account using this. So like I said, at the moment, it's open to any Google account can have an account on this. Maybe I want to restrict that. How are you coming, Zephyr? Are you still deleting chats? I have not yet received a message, so... Okay. I'm going to pause the stream for just a moment. Let's take a little break, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes or so. All right. Welcome back. So Zephyr and I tried to connect again. He told me that he left the room that I invited him to, and I tried again with a fresh invite. It says that Zephyr joined the room, but I am not receiving any messages, and I don't see anything else in the Owncast chat just yet. In the meantime, Zephyr, if you wouldn't mind, please continuing to try. I appreciate it. There are some Synapse configurations here that might be useful to work through as well. So I'm going to put that over here. Actually, let's keep them all together. And mainly I want this auto join rooms. So let's see. Yeah, Zephyr, if you'd like to, please just keep try to send me a message on Element or whatever Matrix client you're using. And if it's not working, let me know what you're seeing in the chat. Let's see. Let's go back to Synapse, and we have our additional configuration here. So we can do a few things. We can auto join rooms. So just create a general, just a general chat, and I guess that's the only one for now. But so I did look for enable registration and a couple of things. So it looks like enable registration, so allowing to create new users. This is saying it defaults to false. Okay, let me finish my thought here. This says it defaults to false, but I was able to create an account using Google, so I don't know about that. We'll come back to that. Zephyr just said that, so Zephyr has seen my message, but I am not seeing Zephyr's message back to me. Maybe I need to verify user. I don't think that's what I need. Yeah, so Zephyr says that he sent something back, text and a GIF, but I don't see it. Let me try reopening Element. Says he is seeing my text. But I don't see anything from you. I just sent him another message. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this is saying that it defaults to false, but I was able to register. Maybe it's only because I used the Matrix Authentication service. I'm not sure. Maybe we can find a config map to get the actual configuration. Yeah, this looks correct. But there's probably sensitive data in there, so I'm going to do that on a separate screen. I don't see anything here about enable registration in this config map. I see that metrics are enabled. I'm not sure. Let me check back with Zephyr. Just sent, standing by the FFI. Yeah, this isn't working for me. I am not receiving. So I'm going to leave that space, Zephyr. If you leave that room as well, and then let's see what happens if you try to create one with me. So you send me a direct message, and let's see what that is. So yeah, I'm not sure about this enable registration thing, and I'm also wondering if I can set it up so that, you know, Synapse can auth through. Actually, no, I know that it can't. The experimental features okay, sorry. Zephyr says 1 moment. This stream is getting a little bit sporadic. Maybe I'll call the stream here and continue working with Zephyr offline and pick this back up once there's a little more progress. Maybe it'll be a demo where I show off the final result of getting these final tweaks in the configuration setup. But I think through what we've seen here should be the crux of, you know, this has gotten a Matrix server working. I'm just having issues because of that additional federation key that I had previously been using, and that's only going to be a oh, he says stay on. Yeah, actually, I suppose that's a good point for our debugging purposes. And I suppose that's kind of interesting to watch as well. So yeah, we'll just keep going, but cool. We'll keep going with both. So yeah, cool. Now says go back to the room. I'm back at the room. Oh, I already left the room, so I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm staying on. We'll keep debugging. Can you send me a direct message? Oh, there we go. I see something. Let me bring it onto. Why can't I move it? There we go. Adds a little exclamation point. Start chatting. Join the room. Wants to verify. Maybe I'm supposed to. I think I need to hide this. So I'm clicking on Zephyr's profile picture. I'm then saying verify user. I sent a verification request. I don't think this is the verification is strictly necessary. I think like you should be able to just like send some text to me, and are you able to send text into this room? I'm going to make it full screen here again. So yeah, it's these verification requests. I can click the name and then verify user, and then it seems like this is what's being sent. But I've never had to do this on the original, and I don't think that's necessary. I'm hoping you can just send me text. I don't see anything in the Owncast chat about this at the moment, so I'm just waiting. Well, I mean, I'm not really seeing anything on either chat, so it's I'm not sure what I'm waiting for, and this is not a very exciting stream. So, we can log into the Luanti server and have a chat there to maintain a stream of communication. But I think it is time to end this stream. So I will end it here. And again, this video will end up in a couple of places on YouTube first and foremost. Well, not first and foremost. No, not YouTube first and foremost. My stuff first and foremost. git.eom.dev in this issue here. There will be a link to this in the description of the YouTube video, which is secondary to my stuff. Cool. So I think that will do it for now. And let's see. Got a verify button and for you and clicked it. But can you send me text? Like yeah, okay. Yeah, you couldn't verify. Okay, so something to debug here. We're gonna have to pick this up on another stream. So until then, toodaloo, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. Bye.